Wheels Parisi, and it's How Not to Bomb. How Not to Bomb presents Everybody's Got a Story. That's right. Welcome to the show, everyone. We got a great show tonight. We have great guests tonight. Announce something new tonight. I'm going to announce something new tonight. Everyone, proud to announce that we have a founding partner of the show. Bring it up right here. Talk about them a little bit. They are a founding partner, Babes Classic Restoration. This is an amazing company. If you got a classic car that's been sitting in the garage and you've always dreamed of bringing back an old ride and bringing it back to life, this is the team you want. Truthfully, Babes doesn't just restore cars; they restore memories. From complete frame-off restorations to custom builds and expert craftsmanship, they settle for less. They will not settle for anything less than expert craftsmanship. They treat every vehicle like it's their own. Next time you're looking to get that vehicle saved or fixed or brought out of the garage, or if you have a barn find and you want to get it fixed up and looking beautiful again, like perfect, give Alan and Cheryl a call today at 941-286-7740 or stop by at 735 Commerce Drive, Unit 8 in Venice, Florida. Tell them Michael Wheels Parisi sent you from How Not to Bomb. Babes Classic Restorations, where craftsmanship, passion, and American classics come back to life. Very proud to say they are our new founding partnership, Babes, and they're the nicest people, Cheryl and Alan, great people, the Zanobi family. They were actually on the show. They're going to be on the show again. They have a hell of a story. They always they talk about it all the time. I mean, great people. They used to come to my Parisi's when I had my cart, my trailer, my food trailer, my coffee truck. They'd come there all the time. And they were, and I always remember Alan loved the Sanguiches, and Cheryl was a big fan of the Napoleons. So they opened up this business called Babes Classic Restorations. And I've seen some of their work. It's just amazing. They are a new sponsor of the show. So they're in Venice, Florida. So welcome to the show tonight. Tonight we have a great guest. He's a stand-up comedian, writer, and one of those comics who doesn't just tell jokes. He tells stories that make you laugh because somewhere deep down, you probably lived it yourself. He's been a finalist on NBC's Last Comic Standing, appeared on The View, headlined top comedy clubs across America, won Howard Stern's Kill or Be Killed, and his acclaimed one-man show, Joseph Anthony Speaks the Truth, has entertained audiences nationwide. Coming from a big Italian-American family, Joseph has turned his family dysfunction of everyday life and real-world experiences into comedy gold. Tonight we'll talk about the road, the business of comedy, bombing, winning, and stories behind the laughs. I know Joseph for a long time from Pips Comedy Club in Brooklyn, New York, on Emmons Avenue, and I'll tell you, man, he's a really funny guy. He used to go on stage, a rapid fire comedian. We're gonna let him in the room right now, ladies and gentlemen. Joseph Anthony is here tonight. What's up, Joseph?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
All right, my friend. The crowd, let's hear it for Joseph Anthony, everybody. They love you. I told them you were coming in tonight.
Please.
No, they knew it. No, because they knew you were going to be. You knew. Why did you have to stall? You knew he was in the room.
I'm bowing.
Oh, man. How you doing, man? It's been a long time since you and I actually seen each other or worked together.
I'm hot. I don't mean on fire in my career. That would be even better. But it's hot. It's summer.
It is.
And our beginnings are very interesting. We really met at the very beginning of my career.
Truly was. When did you start comedy? What year was it?
1989.
So I started in like 87, 88. And you came around like, I remember when you came into Pips. For some reason, I have this memory. I have many memories of knowing you on stage, but I remember the first time. For some reason, I feel like you were wearing like a black overcoat, like a long black overcoat. It might have been like
good memory, Mike. It wasn't necessarily like a trench coat or anything like that. I did have a black I had a black, I guess you call it a 3/4 that I used to wear all the time.
Yeah, it was like your thing, and you were very in and out. You'd come in, you would always kill it. I don't think I ever remember you not killing the room. I think you were pretty hot from the beginning. I'm not sure if you worked anywhere else before Pips and you just became good and started doing Pips, but I met you at Pips and you were great from the beginning.
I'll tell you, if you want to know, I guess, since we have time, I'll tell you how it started for me. All right, so backpedal just a little bit. I always wanted to be an actor, then I wanted to be a writer, and I pursued both to some extent. And then I always had an interest in comedy. Like I would always watch the late night stand-ups, and it was like one day I'm going to try that, but it wasn't something I was going to do. And then I said, I gotta look into this. So I don't know how to begin. I have no idea how you begin this. I didn't know about open mics, nothing. I
Right.
didn't know any comics. I didn't know to hang out, nothing like that.
Well,
Hanging
comedy
out as an
wasn't really. It was still a new thing. Nobody really knew what to do.
well, it
We
was
kind of
it
went with
was
it.
just it was just blowing up,
Right.
So you see it blowing up, and you want to be a part of it. And you think I'm a funny guy, I could do this. And long story short, I decided to take a workshop at the new school. And what was going to happen was we were going to culminate and do a night, like a graduation night, 2 months later at the comic strip. And after two sessions of this workshop, which the people that was very small, and you know who gave the class, great guy, nicest guy in the world, funny guy, but he was no teacher, Scott Blakeman. You remember Scott?
Oh, sure, I do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do
Yeah.
remember Scott.
So
Wow.
Scott was just soft spoken, and he didn't give us any instruction, and I'm looking for instruction. So whatever I was doing, the class was laughing. No one else was getting laughs. So I'm like, forget this. I got to give it a shot. That's how I went to Pips. That's how I went on stage, and I did well my first night. And
Yeah.
and that was it. I was bitten. I got bit by the bug.
Now, did you were you doing the certain like the whole like were you doing those like the I remember Tim Andre Davis had the Eagle Tavern. Were you doing any of those?
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard his name?
Oh man. Oh, the terrible venues with terrible
Terrible. They were
comedians.
awful.
Yeah.
It's
One
funny
time,
though. Yeah.
good. No,
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 good. I want to
me.
hear. Yeah.
The week after I did my first open mic at Pips, this other guy, Scott, who was also from Staten Island, where I was living, Staten Island, New York,
Right.
Scott came in and he did his first open mic. And we just kind of hit it off because we both had a bit of an edge. We both did pretty well out of the gate. And we're both Staten Island guys,
Right.
we knew a lot of the same people. So we did everything together. And we go to Tim Andre Davis's shows, and we would more or less we were looking for stage time, but we weren't humble like everybody else. We were
Right.
too
Right.
we were two wise asses. And
Yeah.
one time this girl was on. We were in like some restaurant or something. It was just awful, and it wasn't even like a planned show. We just had a space in the place, and this girl was on, and she just, look, everybody's got to start somewhere, but when someone's never gonna get it. And this was, and she had a recorder on the table with
Yeah.
me and Scott,
Right.
and we're going, oh, that's good. She's brilliant.
I think that a lot of us had that little bit of cockiness to us. We always, if we were going to go
Uh,
in those kind of rooms, even back then, we always thought who the hell we were. We just thought that, I mean, you need me more than I need you. I think you have to have a bit of an ego in this business, don't you think? I think you have to have that. You have to have that
yeah,
feeling of, I think it's
yeah.
confidence more than anything else.
At least confidence, yeah.
Yeah. But, I remember with you, though, it's like first of all, I never knew your last name was Grisancio. I never do that. I just Joseph Anthony. I always thought
Not
for
many
years
people do.
I always thought you had two first names. I didn't think,
Mhm.
I always want to call you Anthony for some reason. I want to always refer to Anthony.
Everybody calls me Anthony, and it's
Yeah.
like, it's most times I don't let it bother me, but sometimes I'm like, look, my name is Joseph, and it's almost like they say same thing, and I'm like, that is, to me,
No.
that's borderline prejudice.
Yeah, it is not the same thing. Two different names, not even close.
They're two different names. You know how I named myself? Joseph Anthony is my first and middle name.
Right.
I was on my way to Pips that night. The night I met you, you were hosting the show, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to call myself?
Right.
Because Grisanzio is too long. It's going to be. I had this all. This was in a 30-minute ride from Staten Island to Brooklyn. This all went through my head. What am I going to call myself?
Yeah.
Because Grisanzio was too long. It had always been butchered in school. I knew the MCs were going to butcher it on stage, and plus, certain family members were wanted by certain other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I imagine myself being rich and famous, and them coming after my money. So
Right.
all this went through my head, and I tried different versions of Joe Grizzly, Joe Grizz, all these different things, and I went Joseph Anthony. I said that's my legal name, and it's kind of got a flow, and that's how I became Joseph Anthony.
It's almost like every time you say your name, you want to say the Simon of the Cross. Like you say, Joseph Anthony's coming tonight. So so yeah, two saint names.
Some booker who's he's a nasty bastard. You would know him, but he did say one funny thing one time. He said, "You sound like a hairdresser."
Now you're saying this was a booker from back in the day.
Yeah, I think he's still around. I think he manages somebody big,
Oh, okay.
but I don't care. I don't work for him. You want to say his name?
Yeah.
Grant.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. And I'll tell you why. Because he was a no good motherfucker. Back
Yeah,
in the day, he was not nice to a lot of comics starting out. He
not
would
a
tell
nice
people,
guy.
don't quit your day job. Don't ever you can't work in any of my rooms. He was like a prick.
Yeah,
So it's not surprising you
his
said that
wife
guy's name.
was in the sidecar with him. She was another pleasant person.
Yeah, they were just not pleasant. You had a lot of shady characters back in the day. I mean, Rick Morgan was kind of interesting. I mean, not a bad guy, just an interesting guy. Tony Camacho, who I loved. Tony was great.
Yeah.
And I want to get into that with you in a little while. But I remember you were never the most social comedian. And I don't mean that in disrespect. You were a guy that came in, you did your thing, you went on stage, you fucking slayed, and you got out of there. You weren't like, you weren't a guy to hang out, go to what I remember, go to the diner later. You were like, you just did your thing. You were very into what you did. You were meticulous at what you did, and then you were out for some reason.
That
That's how I
that's
kind of got you.
that's me. That's me in a nutshell. Do you know Patty Vitale?
Sure.
Okay. Patty sat me down one night at Chuckles, and this was when I was on the Long Island scene. And I used to do the whole Long Island scene. I would do East Side on a Tuesday, I would do Governors on a Wednesday, I would do Chuckles on a Thursday, and then I probably work for Rick Morgan on the weekends.
Right.
And Patty said, all the other comics, they don't like you because you don't socialize. They said, and they don't think you're a jerk or anything. They just don't understand why you're not social and hanging
Right.
out. I says, Patty, that's just me. I come in to do a job. I'm focused on it, and then I want to get out of there and get back to my life.
Yeah.
And she said, I told them that. She said, I said he is all about the work,
Yeah.
and she had it right. I'm not antisocial. I just
Yeah. Well, believe it or not,
I don't love
that's how you are.
socializing.
You're an introvert. Really, you are an introvert. Yeah, you are an introvert, and the only time you're on is when you're in front of the camera or doing something where you got to be performing or on stage at some capacity. But same with me. I'm an introvert. I don't really hang out. I'm not a big social guy. Never have been. I go
Right.
do my thing, and I'll hang, but I'll get out of there. Or I'll hang with one or two people and talk, and then I want to leave. We don't like being around
But
people
that, but
long. We
that,
get aggravated.
but that can work against you in this business. You know that, right?
It did. It does. It worked against
Yeah.
me in certain aspects. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. And I don't know if this is what you're thinking about. Like when I came up the ladder, I came up with like Adam Sandler and guys like that. And, we were all hanging, doing our thing at Pips and at the comic strip. But, if I would have hung out with them more, would have I had opportunity with them more? I might have been, I've turned down like Adam calling me up, hey, Wheels, you want to hang out tonight? And I was, not in the mood because then he wasn't Adam Sandler. He was just some fucking guy like me. And I think
Right.
it might have hurt me in some capacity. Why? How do you feel about that?
I feel the same way. I feel it's as the Jewish people say, it's about schmoozing, and
Yeah.
some of us aren't really good at it. And if you get lucky and you fall through the cracks, then you can stick to your guns and be a refined kind of to yourself kind of guy, polite, friendly, as much as you need to be, but a lot of it is schmoozing,
Yeah.
and I don't want to say kissing ass, but
It is.
playing the game. It's
Yeah.
playing the game,
It is
and I
playing
was
the game.
never very good at the game.
No, and I was not. I'm the same way. And I always say, man, like I'm friends with all of them to this day. I talk to Adam and these guys, but I just wasn't around. I wasn't around to get that opportunity when the other people were. I was never a ass kisser. So let's get into you a little
It's
bit.
exhausting.
Yeah, it is exhausting. I'm just not in the mood. I just like to do my
Right.
thing, and I'm not
Right.
complaining. I did very well in life. I mean, I did things in my world, and I did really well. So I'm not complaining about it. But I'm just saying it could have been a reason. But I want to get into you a little bit. When you were you grew up in an Italian American family, you grew up in Brooklyn, apparently, right?
My roots are in South Brooklyn, Carroll Gardens. When I was a kid, they called it Red Hook.
Right, Red Hook, which is a tough neighborhood
Mhm.
back in those days. Red Hook was no
Yeah.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you grew up in a typical Italian American family, a very close family. How was your family life growing up, Joseph?
My father, I'm first generation American. My father was born in Italy,
Hmm.
but he came here when he was 14 after World War II. My mother was a stay-at-home mother, very typical, great cook, a lot of unconditional love. There's six of us. I have
Wow,
five older sisters and no brothers. I'm the baby boy.
that says a lot. Being the baby, I think, has a lot to do with you being a comedian. I think it's the baby. I'm the baby too out of five. I think
Yeah,
we're the funny ones. Text
we
they
need
say that. Yeah,
we need attention.
that's right. So you grew up
I
around
couldn't get a
five,
word in.
and you grew up around five girls. How many? Six, five girls, and you.
It's sick if you include my mother, six, because my old man
Wow.
was not around a lot.
Wow, that's it. So you had a big family, and what part of Italy was your family from? Were they Calabrese? Where were they from?
No, no, no. My father was from a town called Mola. It's it's part of Bari.
Oh, Barese.
Yeah, Bades, Moles, Bades, Mola di Bari. It's like saying Staten Island, New York, or Brooklyn, New York.
Right.
Mola is a small little town, beautiful town on the water. That's part of Bari.
They have their own little language, Barese. It's a
Oh,
different
they they
different dialect.
they call it the Chinese of Italian.
Yeah, it's very hard to understand. I can understand like Calabrese. I'm Calabrese. I can understand them. Napolitan, Sicilian for the most part. I have Barese friends. Don't know a word that what I couldn't tell you anything. I
You're
couldn't tell you.
Calabrese, like my wife. You're Gabadost.
I'm a Gabados to see. Absolutely, and that's the truth. So you grew up in a big. Was it a crazy family you grew up in? Or how was it? Were you the funny one, or you? How did it work out?
Yes and yes. Very dysfunctional, but
Okay,
who isn't?
right,
Everybody wants their claim to fame to dysfunction, but
sure,
I think the driving force of our dysfunction was my father was a compulsive gambler,
okay, okay.
so that made for an interesting roller coaster life. I always say I learned how to load a moving truck at age 7.
Oh wow.
Because we would move a lot. And as far as the funny thing, yeah, I always was looking for attention. And then when I came into my own and I got a little older, yeah, I could get everybody's number and I could make everybody laugh.
Now, were you a gambler too, or did you learn from your dad not to?
No, I don't. I'm afraid that I have the gene, so I don't not gamble, but I
Right.
don't like if I'm in AC working. I'm like I'm here to get paid, not give it away.
Yeah. But then again, you've always been that way anyway. You're here to get paid and get the hell out. That's just
Yeah,
typical.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's tempting. It's tempting if you got a little FU money to sit at the table. But I've fought the urge. My nemesis was alcohol, which I've tackled.
Oh, did you really? So when I knew you back then, was alcohol your thing, or you were not?
I was never a day drinker or a weekday drinker or anything like that. But when like Saturday night came and the gig was over, I'd always go wild.
Would you drink on stage? I don't remember you drinking on stage.
Not when I knew you in the early days. I went through a phase where I would get loaded on stage,
Really?
and I thought it was working great. And then I started to get a reputation, and so it took me years, but I fixed it.
So you got out of that battle. You're done with that,
Yeah.
and you moved on from there. When did you realize in life? Because you said you wanted to be an actor. That was your thing. You wanted to be an
Mhm.
actor. But when did you realize somewhere you had to realize something that you can actually make people laugh? When did you realize you can actually make people laugh for a living? This could work.
Well, when I realized I could make people laugh, it was all through school.
Okay.
I was always in trouble for that, but I always, I always made people laugh, or I made teachers very angry. When I thought I could do this for a living was, like I said, it was right out of the gate. It was I was writing, and it was very lonely with a lot of rejection. And when I got up on that stage, I said, "Oh, I can write and I could act."
Right.
I combined the two of them because you're on stage and it's a personified you.
Right.
It's a bigger you, and I
Right.
write the stuff. So this was and the gratification was instant. You didn't have to wait for a letter in the mail.
Sure.
You didn't have to go to 100 auditions to be told no, that you're not the right type, or not get a call back. This was go out, and comedy was starting to blow up. So every
Sure.
open mics were packed. You could go out, get feedback on what you wrote, get laughter or not, and right away you got some sort of satisfaction out of it. As for the money was peanuts, and then it came, and then it went. But
Actually, money
yeah,
back then was better than it is now for a lot in a sense of paid gigs. There were plenty of paid gigs in the tri-state area back in those
yeah.
days. You could work
Oh,
the
I
whole tri-state area and still get and do
I
well.
man, I was not in the very beginning, but after not too long, I was working 50 weeks out of the year. I would take 2 weeks
Absolutely.
vacation. I would make my own vacation. I'd be perfectly honest with you. I'm not there now, and I miss it.
I'm telling you, those days were great. I remember it, and I miss it too. It's a whole different world now. Comedy, as far as I know. I don't know. I don't know how it is in
Oh
New York anymore. I
no,
mean,
it's. I think we need a whole show devoted to that, like how it's morphed.
yeah, it's definitely changed. What was your very first time on stage as a comedian? The first time, first place ever out the gate. You said, "I'm going to do it."
Pips,
Was it Pips? Was your first time on
pips.
stage?
Pips, the night you were emceeing, and you had very positive things to say about me as I was running out the door.
Yeah, I always liked you. Actually, I just don't bother with anybody. So it's not like you would be one of those people that I would bother with. Like if I would, but I think we're a lot alike. We just don't like bothering with people. We just, I've always liked you. I've always respected you. You probably thought, wow, Wheels called me out of the blue to do the show because I like you. I thought you'd be a great guest.
Oh,
I just,
thank you.
I just don't keep in touch with anybody. I just kind of do my own fucking thing.
I understand.
So you ever think about quitting the business? Has there ever been a time where a low you felt like I just can't do it anymore? I just want to quit.
Yeah,
There was.
yeah,
What was that
yeah.
like?
I can't pinpoint it to one specific time because it's come up a lot, maybe more so in more recent years.
Uh huh.
When you face the money hurdles and stuff like that, um, the time away, it's tough. You see everybody enjoying the weekend, and you're kind of the reason they're enjoying part of that weekend, but you don't really have typically much of your
Right.
own weekend. You know what I mean? And so moments
Right.
burnout. I'd
Right.
say
It's a lonely business.
a combination of burnout at times would make me think about. I would say, like, this is what I would say. I said to a friend one time. I said, if someone could give me a year's worth of what I was making at one time, salary wise, and I
Yeah.
could take a year off to cultivate and develop some creative projects, I would do it in a heartbeat. And I still
Right.
feel the same way.
So
I hate relying on it. I hate
right.
relying on it. I'd rather it be fun. It's lost a lot of its fun. I
It's
hate to
the,
bring
have
everybody
you ever
down, but
thought
it's
about
lost.
pivot? No, but it's true though. You're 100% right. Have you ever thought about pivoting and say, you know what? I learned this. Maybe I'm going to do this in comedy or do this now, or just kind of pivoting, like do a podcast or do something where you can use your
I'm
talent.
I'm back to writing.
Yeah,
I'm not as diligent as I'd like to be, but I'm back to writing. I wrote a treatment. I know everybody's got something in their back pocket,
that's good
but I
though.
think I think the treatment I wrote is something that, who knows if it'll ever even get looked at, but I know that it's a extremely original, great idea.
But now you had a one man show. I was just looking at the notes. You had a one man show that you also wrote and produced, I'm
Yeah.
sure, and starred in. What was that all about, and where was that being done at, and what was it about?
It was at the Algonquin Theater or Algonquin Arts Center or something like that in Manasquan, New Jersey. It's a
Right.
beautiful little theater.
Yeah.
Originally, it was going to be at the Strand, which is like a historic theater. I don't know if you ever heard of it, the Strand in
Sure. Yeah.
Lakewood, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Strand was very expensive to rent. The Strand was, I guess, 1,100 seater, and I didn't know if I could fill that, and the rental fee, and then they weren't very nice to deal with. So I ended up at the Algonquin, which was a 500 seater, and that's what made that happen. And the show was autobiographical. This was one of those points where, okay, I'm tired of stand up as it is. I want to do something more.
Right.
So I decided to tell my story, which is essentially what the show was. It was not just my story, like, hey, I did this and hey, I did that. It was my story of how I came to be. I'm sorry if you hear the dog barking.
That's okay.
It's my story of how I came to be in this business. And if I remember right, because it was several years ago, more than that, to say this is where I'm at now, which was a crossroad. I was at my first crossroads back then.
And what year did it start? And what period was it from this year to what year? Like, were you talking about?
It was a short run. It was like I did like 2 weekends,
No,
you
no, no.
know.
But I mean, like, what years of your life was like 1978 to 19, and then where did you stop?
78, I was still playing with Matchbox cars. It was when did I do it? 2005.
Oh, okay. So it was so the show was not based on your life as a child growing up and then getting into comedy. Your show was about a certain point in your life.
Yes, it was about my growing up and how I came to be in this business, and the I think the subtext was, how can I put this? The subtext was essentially that I've had all these challenges and yet I stayed the course.
Right. So you never. So there you go. You're one of those. You're relentless. You don't give up. You just keep on moving. You keep on doing. What year? When did you stop with the show? Like if you were to do a part two, would you be able to? Did you have enough years now in between to say I can do it now a part two of that?
I started writing a part two.
Okay.
It was the name of that show was Joseph Anthony Speaks the Truth.
Okay.
Very very straightforward, just what it says. Joseph Anthony Speaks the Truth,
Yeah.
and part two was going to be Joseph Anthony, something like Joseph Anthony Speaks the Truth now, and it was to take people from where I was in 2005 to where I've been and where I
Right.
am today, which
So
is
that would be
a
that.
whole different set of circumstances.
So it would be yeah. You got year. You have 11 years? No, 2005. Yeah, you have a little.
More
You
than
have
that,
20 years. Yeah, 21
20
years.
years, yeah.
Wow.
And I would do it better. There were certain things that could have been better, but it was thrown together rather quickly. The writing took time, but the production was almost page to stage. There were little to no rehearsals. All things I would do differently now. I would rehearse. I would fix the lighting better.
Hmm.
Like it was supposed to be. We were supposed to have three lit areas and completely black areas so that we could show transition of time, and yet people could see me walking from light to light. Like these little things make a difference when you're going from, when you're trying to show people you're transcending 5 years time. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. There's
Or am I or am I
a
babbling?
lot involved. There's a lot involved in putting on a show. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah.
But you've had a lot of great things that go on in your career. You've done a lot of things other comedians can have never. I mean, there are comedians that started when we started, Joseph, that have never done anything, are still doing open mics. And I mean, just never doing anything. And then there were
Oh,
the ones who went places. I mean, you've done Last Comic Standing, Stern. Tell us The View. Tell us about some of your highlights. Last Comic Standing. I had no idea you were on that. How did that happen? What happened with that?
yeah. I I auditioned for one of the seasons and I didn't make it. It was early, early on a cold morning. And then I got an opportunity to audition for a few seasons later. And I said, it's not, I'm not, no excuses this time. I went right for the throat in the afternoon, which was the afternoon was the judges, the camera crew. There was like no audience yet.
Right.
So they bring you back for the evening, and you go on before a live audience. And I made it into the top 20.
Wow. So that's a big thing.
And there's like hundreds or thousands of people that
Yeah.
audition. So
All over
it
the
was it
country
was
too. Yeah.
yeah, I got some FaceTime out of it. But that was a show that was, it was more of a reality show. I probably should have, if I would have had the opportunity to tell them more about myself, they probably would have liked it. But I was just literally just doing the shtick, and and
Yeah.
and they were looking for someone. I don't know. They like, who won. I'll give you a perfect example. You know who won? Not to say he's not funny, but you know who won the year that I was one of the top 20 finalists was Josh Blue.
Oh yeah, Josh. Yeah, I remember him. And you're right. He's not funny.
You
I mean,
know,
you didn't
but he's
say he
got.
wasn't funny. I said he
I
wasn't
didn't
funny.
say it. I didn't
Yeah.
say it. I want.
No, I said
I,
it.
I've never. Josh Blue has never made me fall out of my chair,
No,
but
no, never.
but he had cerebral palsy. So
Yeah. So he's always falling out of his chair.
yeah, it was. it was it
There
was
were a lot.
perfect.
There are a lot of comedians. Not to get onto that, but I don't talk bad about comedians either. But there are a lot of comedians that I don't know, like this guy Nate Bargatze. I just don't. He bores the hell out of me. I mean, I just think there are a lot of people. I mean, they don't make me laugh, but yet they blow up to a point where it's like somebody sees something in them. Like this guy Nate. Do you know Nate Bargatze?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't watch
I
a
just
lot of
don't.
stand. I don't watch a lot of stand up, but when I stumble on him, it's
It's boring. He just bores me.
like in our world of live performances, he would be a feature.
100%. And it's funny. I think you're a lot like me with this. We're comics, but yet we don't watch it. I don't watch stand up. I will not turn on Netflix specials. I will not do it. I don't even listen to.
No,
I don't even listen to my own podcast or any. I don't even none of it. I'm more into like true crime movies. I like watching documentaries. I'm a big documentary buff. I'm into movies. If even if I am acting, I don't know. Are you more of a serious actor or a comedic actor?
serious.
Why do you think
I
that is? Why
just
do you think comedians are more serious than funny?
I don't want to put myself into a category and sound arrogant, but I think when you're dark because of life circumstances, you're typically going to be funnier on stage.
Right.
However that chemical makeup works. Anybody who's ever made me laugh off stage or tried to make me laugh off stage never made me laugh on stage.
Right.
But it's the people that are dark, and they don't always have to be dark in their comedy, but if they're, I don't know, an intense person. Intense people tend to be either angry on stage where they cross the line and they just don't know how to fuck around with an audience, or they're very good because they're very intense, passionate
Right.
individuals. And I guess I'm in that stable.
Where does it come from in you? Everybody gets comedy somewhere. Where does it come from you? When you're ready to write, you're going to sit down and write. Where does it come from? Where do you go?
Where I always gravitate to, I mean, where it comes from is my old man. First of all, in
Okay.
terms of in terms of heredity, he was very funny. He was very dry, very sarcastic. He was a funny guy, but not ha ha funny. Just
Character
you
funny.
know, yeah, like reading people. That's what we're good at. We're good at
Right.
reading people. And
Yes.
when I create, it comes from my life. I can write generic material,
Right.
but I never love it, and it never sounds authentic coming off my tongue. But when I do, what do you call it? When I write about my own stuff, it's really hard to get to the funny.
Right.
But when I do, it's like, you know, no one could. you can't say I'm copying anyone, and
No,
someone would be stupid to copy me because
right.
this is my blood, this is my life, this is what I'm talking about.
So when Joseph Anthony is on stage, is that you or is that your dad? Are you acting as, like when I do Wheels, the character? I mean, I say it's a character because it's pretty much it's me, but it's like the other side of me that nobody sees. Like I yell or whatever. Who are you like on stage psychologically? Is that your dad coming out?
That's a good question.
Because comedy is all psychological.
Yeah, yeah. I guess the guy on stage would be a combination of. I never thought about this because there is a very different guy on that stage. Like people meet me, and I
Right.
I almost don't want to tell them I'm a comedian because they're like, he's a he's a miserable bastard. He can't be a comic.
That's what I'm saying.
you
We're
know?
we're miserable for the most part. Like because we're gonna get the line. "Oh, tell me something. Tell me a joke." We don't do
Oh,
that.
the minute you tell them you're a comic, they light up. I love
Oh,
comedy. I love comedy. And they look at you and they're like, dance, monkey, dance, you know?
exactly. And I'm like, get the
I,
fuck away from me. I'll
I
stab you in the
know.
neck. It's
I
like,
know exactly. I should have told you I was a fucking shoe salesman, you know?
yeah, no, it's like you hate to say it, and they're gonna ask, "What's your favorite bit? Yeah, what do you do on stage?"
Who's
Get the
your
fuck away
favorite
from me with
comic?
that.
What's your favorite bit, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
so I
happened with
don't know.
with
The
the
guy on
Howard
stage.
Stern?
Wait,
I, I,
I want to answer the question. I think the guy on stage
oh yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
is
I'm glad. Yeah, I want to go back to that.
yeah, I think not to beat it up, but I think he's a little like the drunken me, not the fall down blackout drunken me, but he's a little like the drunken me. He's gonna push the envelope. He's gonna say the things that make you a little uncomfortable. That's who I'd say I might be. That
Yeah.
side of me.
Well, I always thought of you as kind of like a little bit of a ticking time bomb. Kind of, you go on, you're quick, you're fast, you're in and out. You're bob and weaving on stage. You're really and you're rapid fire. Which comedians nowadays you don't see any of that style anymore. So you are your own style. They just can't take your joke. But yeah, you kind of got that like that fucking mob. If you were if I had to evaluate, say if you were a mobster, you'd be like a cowboy mobster. You'd be that guy who's just fucking everybody. You're gonna kill everybody. One of those.
You're not far off.
No, it's you had that from
Uh,
what I remember. You used to come on. You were just so quick. And I used to watch him like, how the fuck he's just so fast on stage.
uh,
Whoop, did I lose you there?
Thank you. Oh, we still got connection, right?
I don't see your face, but we got an audio. We got a good audio connection, which is okay.
Okay, good, good. Because
But I don't see you. I hear you, but I don't see you. It might pop back in soon again.
how's
Um,
that?
I don't see you. And that's okay.
Really?
As long as we got an
Son of a gun.
audio. I mean, so
All
anybody
right. I,
watching,
I don't
are you
want
able,
to. I don't
are
want to
you able
screw
to
with it.
see me?
Yes, I see you.
Okay, so you're
I
able
see. I see you when I
to
see
see
you
me.
when I see
Um,
myself,
all
but
right.
it's weird.
Let me
Well,
see
let's
here.
not let's not
Let me
mess with
just
you.
do
I
it
don't
real
know.
quick
You know
on
what
my.
happened? I had a call come in. I didn't silent. I didn't put do not disturb on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. If you get out of the call somehow, you might come back. But I mean, we're definitely on audio, and that's fine because it's going to be on Spotify. They're going to be listening to the show. So little technical difficulties on these, but the people understand, and you might pop back
As
on.
long as you could hear
Tell me
me.
about. I hear you. Yeah, and it's going to be great either way. It's going to be
Good,
great
good, good.
when yeah.
Something is
So tell me about this
uploading.
Howard Stern.
All right. So
No, go
I
ahead.
get a
Yeah,
call.
you could take a second.
No, 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 no. It says something's uploading on the device, and maybe that has to do with why my picture's gone. But we'll sit here all day trying to figure it out. So as long as you could hear
Okay,
me, I got a call from
absolutely.
Sal, the stockbroker. You know Sal, right?
Sure, Governor Alley.
Sal Governale. Sal called me up and he said, "I'm putting together this thing for Howard had two stations, Howard 100 and Howard 101."
Right.
So Sal was putting together this contest on 101. He said, "I want you to be a part of it." You know, I worked with him a few times. He had respect for me and blah blah blah. And so I went to Caroline's. We did it in the afternoon. The judges were Artie Lang,
Sure.
Robin Quivers, and Sam Simon. You remember Sam Simon,
Yeah, of course.
the writer? He
Yeah.
wrote for Cheers. He wrote for The Simpsons, and he was kind of hanging around Howard for a while. So that's how Sam ended up as a judge on the show. Anyway, I went on. It was a stand-up round. I won the stand-up round, and then it was a heckle round, and I was brutal on the heckle round, and I won. And so they aired it. They aired this Killer Be Killed on 101. You know, for a while.
Wow.
So it was good exposure.
Very good exposure. That's when Stern was like on the top of his game too back then when he had
Oh,
all the
this was when he went to Sirius and
yeah.
just just blew up and put Sirius XM on the map.
I know lately he's changed a little bit. A lot of things, with him. I don't know what's going on with Howard. I used to love watching, listening to the show. I just don't do it anymore. Um,
I haven't in quite some time. I miss it because it was
yeah,
like a fix.
yeah, it was
It
like
was a
therapy.
fix.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I haven't, and I always wonder like where is he at now? Because he
yeah,
was he was softening. He joined the elite that he always wanted, that he always made fun of, but
yep,
secretly wanted to be a part of.
absolutely.
And when he joined the elite, and I guess anybody would. I think he lost his edge a little bit. Not that he lost his edge. I don't think he wanted to alienate the
I
A-listers
agree.
because now
Yeah,
he
I
was
think he
getting
was really
A-listers.
he was. Yeah, he didn't want to be that guy who got canceled by all these people. I think in a sense, he kind of sold himself out a little bit, and that's okay. But he's got enough money; he could
Yeah,
do that. Or he could have kept it. He could have kept him being himself and gained the respect from these people just by being himself too. I mean, either
yeah.
way.
Like
But he
his
made a
his
decision.
interviews, his interviews were hands down the best,
He
and
was a great interviewer, fantastic
great
interviewer.
interviewer. And he'd have people on that were celebrities, but they weren't megastars. And
Right?
and he would start with a normal question, an off-color question, and then by the third or fourth question, boom, he was
Yeah,
into their closet and their dirty laundry. When he
yeah,
started having like I noticed when he had like Rod Stewart on and just these mega stars, he had this set of questions that he would sound excited about, and he would rapid fire the questions, but none of them went too far as the old Howard.
right, right.
That was my take on that. I
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
boring, but
If you watch, it's funny, Art. You mentioned Artie Lang. He's been and Artie's kind of like been hiding now, not in a bad way. He's just recovering. He's doing his thing and he's bettering himself. But he just came out on an interview with Opie from the Opie and Anthony show on YouTube. So 3 weeks ago, and he talks about the whole Howard Stern experience and everything. It's a great interview. I watched it last night, and he's only a 3 week old interview. So you're hearing Art now as sober and all that, talking about some heavy duty stuff with Stern and
oh,
why he's falling
I
and what
would love
happened and all this. So you should watch it. It's on Open. Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
it's
love
on
to see that
YouTube. It's
because
really really good. Um,
I'd love to see that. I loved Artie. Artie and I got a little close for a while. He was, he really. I think Artie was gonna go to bat for me a little bit. I liked
wow.
Artie, and he liked me. There was a mutual respect there. One of the biggest audiences I ever performed in front of, and I know you performed big audiences when you used to work with
Yeah.
Dice. But I did a 3,200 seater, and it was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
You feel that applause in your chest, man.
There's a different kind of feeling you get from it's a different timing and delivery too when you're doing that stuff. You got to slow it down just a
You got to
tad.
slow it down.
Yeah,
Yes, you do.
yeah, and you got to project out, really out to the audience. You can't, it's not an intimate. Yeah, but that's great. He did 30. Artie was doing great. That's why you should listen to this. It's on the Opie show. 3 weeks. You could watch it on YouTube, and he talks about a lot of stuff from Howard and some cool moments there, and the reason why Howard don't call him back anymore, and it's a whole thing. You'd love it.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
giving
He's
giving
been flying under off the radar.
Yeah, no, but it seems like he's starting to come out again a little bit, and this was 3 weeks ago. So that's cool that the you did the Howards. I think if you would have, you think you would have ended up on the show if Artie was still around, or was it like on the show as a regular or as a writer? Would have you taken that gig?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I think I don't know what Artie was gonna do, but when we were in talks and it was very positive, you know what he would say to me? This is the God's honest truth. And then he went and made an attempt on himself.
right,
And this
right.
was right at the time, and I was like, just no disrespect to him, but it was like only these things happen to me.
Yeah,
Just when shit's about to pop, someone
ready to
goes and
yeah.
sticks a butter knife in their chest.
Somebody tries to off themselves. Yeah,
Right.
no, I know.
Um,
That's
but the
funny though.
conversations were like, his conversations were like, Joseph, he says, I give everybody a shot. I throw everybody on the stage, on the shows with me. And he said, but I watched you, and he had really, I don't want to sit here and stroke myself. He just had nice things to say about how I write, how I perform. And then I asked him, could you talk to this guy about me? And he was going to, and we were starting a different relationship
Yeah,
that might have went somewhere, and then that happened, and then he just fell out of sight.
he was going somewhere, like he was developing. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Um, do you think have you ever felt like you burned any bridges in the business?
Yes.
You do. Do you regret any of that? Is anything, what do you think you burnt?
I can't think of like one particular story, but
Just just actions more than anything. Like just knowing that you walked away saying, "Oh, I probably didn't do the right thing."
oh, I know a good one.
Okay.
I can't think of a story. This magazine is I don't know if the word is defunk or debunk. I think it's debunk.
Hmm.
It no longer exists, but it was the likes of Entertainment Weekly, which I think is no longer in business either.
Right.
It
Yeah,
was
it's probably
called
gone.
Fade In Magazine, and they put out like a beautiful publication. The issue that I'm in, Ben Stiller's on the cover, so they were like a real deal entertainment mag. And
Right.
somebody, like a friend, somebody found out about it who was subscribed to it or whatever. It's like, hey, they're having this competition, and I'm not one for competitions, but I said, what the hell? All I had to do, I didn't have to show up somewhere and do 2 minutes. They just wanted a
Right.
tape, and I sent in the tape, and I ended up being their it was called their screen test competition or something like that.
Uh huh.
But the cool thing was there was a set of circumstances laid out that they were going to do for me,
Oh wow.
and they were delivering on them. And it was getting me an agent, walking me around LA. I was having meetings with writers who were part of successful sitcoms, talking to them about the sitcom, the pilot I had written uh, at the time.
Hmm.
Um, I was having regular conversations with Rich Super. You know Rich, right?
Oh sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were the real deal. Who was the manager they
I
would
mean,
have
Rich
me?
Rich
But
Super was he was doing fantastic managing people. He was great, great agent, Rick.
yeah, I was having like regular conversations with Rich Super. I don't think Rich was going to be the guy to represent me, but he was not bad company to be in. Let me
Not at
tell you.
all.
And leverage management was like so the idea was we're gonna make you a star. That
Right.
is that is the outcome of this whole thing. And like a year went by, and I just got frustrated. But these things take time. They weren't
They do.
jerking me around. It's just they were lining things up. So I had an option when they were going to bring me out to LA and showcase me at the clubs and set up meetings for me. It was going to be like a 5-day powwow
Right.
of let's get Joseph Anthony some heat. And I had the option. It was like built into the contract or whatever, that I can go out there all expenses paid, or I can get reimbursed for the hotel and the airfare that they were going to pick up. So I got pissed
Right.
off. I CC'd them on a letter with an attorney friend of mine, and I said that they were, that they were not living up to their end of the bargain, and they probably would have, Mike. And I took the money for the hotel and the airfare.
Oh,
So I, I I guess I burned the bridge for $1,500 or whatever.
for 1,500. Did you? So you never went out? Did you ever go to LA at all? Ever in your career at all? Did you ever go out
No,
there? Never.
no, if you can believe it, no.
Yeah, that was a very interesting. LA was a very interesting place, but New York. Listen, you're in New York though. It's anything can happen in New York too. I'm surprised they didn't go and say let's do it in New York. Also, I mean, um,
Well,
but yeah,
a lot was done in New York. We actually did a photo shoot at Pips.
okay,
Um, we did the photo shoot at Pips. What else? I I had a gift certificate for Frederick Fekkai.
okay,
I went to go get a massage, but
sure,
no, New York. That's in the past. New York is just it was a hot plate. It's I don't think it is anymore. Really.
right.
I mean, I was getting invited to read for pilot season. I was getting invited into agents' offices, and I probably was still green when I think of it. But people were scouting.
Yeah,
They were looking, and
you were on their radar for sure.
yeah, yeah, big time, big time. It's
Yeah.
a
But
different
you
New
know what? You
York.
never know. You can always be on the radar. You never know. Anything happens. People, it's an interesting business. That's why they say it doesn't matter how old you are or what you look like in this business. You could be fucking 70 years old and look like you're dying, and somebody go, "This is the funniest guy I ever saw. Let's give him a show." You just don't know. You know, it's just the way it
True,
is.
true.
What do you what are your current projects? What are you doing now? You're working. You're writing. You're working on part two. You're performing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Y- I'm writing the pilot. I've got some shows lined up. I don't know if you want to do plugs now or.
Yeah, yeah, we can do some. I got some couple of questions. I want to do some rapid fires with you, and then yeah, let's plug it out a little bit. I know you're
Okay.
always working. First of all, you got involved in the cruises for a while, correct? You were on Carnival. Oh, there you are. Now I can see you again.
Uh, yeah, I came back, right?
Yeah, there you are. See,
My daughter keeps calling. She's worried about me.
yeah. If we don't answer the phone, they got us dead and buried. There, he's in the hospital. They start calling
she's
hospitals.
she's 27 years old. And she's like, let me see. Oh, I know I shouldn't be doing. I got to.
No, go ahead. Take it. Listen, this is an informal show. It's like we're hanging out backstage. If the people don't like it, they're fucking bad. It's free.
I think I fixed it. Can you still see me?
I see you now. You
Okay,
kind of
good.
You kind of frozen a little bit, but
Really?
yeah, a little bit.
That's because there's things going on. Son of a bitch. I
How
don't
do you
know.
think social media, talking about computers now, how do you feel social media has been with stand-up comedy and comedy? Do you think it hurts it, or you think it's like the new fucking, you
Oh,
know,
that's
MTV?
it's so complicated. Yes, social media is the new television. Um,
How do you like it
and
though, being antisocial? Like, are you anti-social media or do you embrace it?
let me answer that the right way. I use it, but I don't utilize it to its full capacity, to all that it can be. And I've tried. I used to be signed with Russell Best,
Oh, well, yeah,
and
I was too.
yeah, and Russell's whole thing was social media, and I just said to him, and I was throwing shit out there that I hated. It was I could never marry the funny Joseph on stage or the funny Joseph after a few cocktails at a party. I
Right.
can never marry that guy or the Joseph in high school, whatever. I can never marry the funny Joseph and everybody used to tell me, "You're so funny. Just put the phone on and do what you do." And
Right.
every time I did, I was so aware of the phone. I was so aware that I'm all alone in my garage trying to do something. I said to Russell, I said, "Russell, maybe this isn't the thing for me." And he said, "Oh, this is everything. This is, you know." And I said, "Well, why don't you, why don't you try to get me a Comedy Central special? That I can knock out of the park."
Right.
And his answer was, "That's really hard."
All right, Mr. Manager.
Right,
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah,
really hard. That was his
yeah.
answer.
I was with Russell for about 45 minutes, and then I decided to move on. But
4.5 years.
wow, man, it's amazing
Yeah.
you were able to put that fucking work in.
Yeah,
Um,
we locked horns quite a bit,
he was listen. I mean, he was a nice guy and all that. He just wasn't for me. That's all there is to it. I just
yeah, well,
He was Vic's guy, and he was everybody else was secondary, and that's it.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's it. And I understand it, and I moved on, and that's
Of
fine.
course.
You know.
Of course. He knew who buttered his bread.
Yeah, and it's true, and that was it. And he didn't want to put the work in with anybody else, because the work was easy with Vic. Vic was doing it, so it was easy with him. So why put any? So everybody else was Vic's opening act, and I'm like, you know what? I only open for one fucking person. That's Dice. That was it. I don't open for Vic,
Right,
and
right. And
I moved on.
according, we might get in trouble. I might get in trouble for this, but what kind of trouble could I get into?
Right.
Uh, according to Russell, he made Vic's career.
That is yeah. No, I mean Vic made his career. Russell got him a lot of dates. He got him on places. He played Vic's a bad guy. He was the bad guy in a lot of situations.
Right.
You know.
Russell took him to another level, but
Yeah.
after the social media blow up, I mean, a monkey could have did it.
Yeah.
it,
Absolutely.
was-
Is
it
Vic even
was.
still with Russell?
I guess
Yeah.
I don't the way we don't hang out with
Yeah.
people, and we should.
We don't know.
I don't follow what's going on.
I don't even know. I ended up leaving him. When I leave somebody, I'm done. I ended up going with Rory Rosegarten, and I was fine with him. Russell wasn't the guy for me, and good for him. Whatever, good for him. I'm done.
Right.
If you had to give advice to new comics, Joseph, what would you give it? What kind of advice would you give to new comics starting out tomorrow? They're going to tell you, listen, I'm going on stage tomorrow. It's my first time ever. I'm going up at Stand Up New York, whatever it is, and can you give me advice?
I I asked Gilbert Gottfried that question in 1991. He told me, "Yeah, quit."
I've heard that a few times.
Uh
Yeah.
huh. I'm such a purist that and I'm obviously long winded. I would say to them, what would I say to somebody who I've given advice to people, which I don't like to do. Just don't this is advice I've given out. Try not to do material or tell stories or situations where at the end you're going to end up saying you had to be there.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah.
You
I
got to
agree.
realize it's comedy, and you have to take those stories that you think are funny and craft it into a setup and a punchline.
Yeah. Yeah. You never ask. You had to be there. You should make them feel that they're already there. Yeah. I agree with
Right.
that. Yeah.
Right. They don't understand, a lot of new comics, that there is a technique. It's
Yeah.
a setup, and when you're good at it, it looks seamless. It looks like you're just having a conversation,
Correct.
but there is a technique. It's a setup and a punchline.
People don't realize that comedians are very intelligent people. You have to be intelligent to do what we do. To be
I
able
think so.
to convince people this is real, and or to get to buy into what we do. I think is you got to be intelligent. Are you happy that your daughter didn't become a comedian?
Yeah.
I'm ecstatic that my daughter didn't become a comedian. Like so happy.
But
Uh,
my kids both are in the arts.
yeah.
I have a son who's 25.
Oh wow, what's he do?
He's at a music festival today,
Wow,
which he said was great. He's a singer songwriter, and my daughter is a filmmaker.
that's fantastic. So they are in the arts, and you guys
They
can.
are in the arts.
So there's a relatable family there. You guys can sit back and if you're ever in the same room at the same time, you guys understand each other in that capacity.
Oh yeah, yeah. We connect. You know, I gotta be careful what I say to my daughter. See, my son will listen to me and my battle scars. I can educate him on my battle scars. My daughter doesn't want to hear it. She wants to make her own bones, and that's that. So I've learned to just say, "Daddy's here if you want to talk." You know.
I hear you. Let them be their thing. They want to be as strong. And you know what? They're going to do well. And they know we're
She's
always there anyway, at the end of the day,
They're both doing it, you know. I mean, they really are doing it. They are sticking to their vocation. A lot of times, I get really worried and scared that I raised them on the road because when they were little, I took them on the road all the time,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
they saw Daddy on stage, and they knew Daddy was performing, and obviously that had some effect on them. But I want them to do so much better than I did.
Yeah. And that's what I tell my daughter too. I said, listen, nothing more in the world, nothing more for me is to be better than me. Be better than me. I'm like, it's going to take a lot of work. No, I always told it, but I just want you to be better than me. And then, but she
Yeah.
is. She's a lot better than me. Trust me. Um, all right, let's get into what you got coming up, and then I want to do some rapid fire questions with you. We've done a nice hour. This was a great conversation. Nice to catch up. We'll probably do a part two one day.
I'm sorry it wasn't funnier.
Well, I mean, listen, it's not supposed to be funny. But see, that's interesting because you and I have not spoken for many, many years at all, really, and
Yeah.
you didn't know what you were coming into either with the interview, and because you don't know you don't know me anymore like that. You don't know, is it going to be supposed to be, is it sticky? Is it going to be real? What the fuck? So, what did you think of the show? How did you feel? Did you like the way it went, or were you looking for more of a
It was a
sticky type thing? 'Cause we're not
no.
sticky people.
I no. I'm not. And it was a conversation. You asked me questions, I answered them.
That's how it is. That's supposed to be a conversation. It's like if you and I were going to just hang out at a cafe, have an espresso and a biscotti, and just hang
Right.
out and bullshit. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Um, so that's what it is, and that's why I'll always have people come back. I'm always like, listen, let's just do it again. We can always talk about shit, and
Yeah.
and and
Yeah.
and that,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of those people. I have some big people coming on too, and I'm like, I want to get those guys. I want to get those authentic originals, and like I always considered you an authentic. No one's ever
Thank you,
copied
Mike.
you.
Thank
You've
you.
always been authentic. All right, where are you playing? What's going on next?
Uh I did a roast this past weekend, but that's in the past, and those are stressful, you know.
Yeah, they are.
Private roast, and because it's summertime, my next gig. I say that because I have a couple of holes, but my next gig is August 22nd at Old York Cellars in Ringos, New Jersey.
Okay.
And then I have two shows that I'm really promoting in the fall. October 3rd and November 22nd. I'm doing two back-to-back shows. It's very simple website. It's belmararts.org. It's the Belmar Arts Center.
Okay.
It's belmararts.org,
BelmartArts.org. Okay.
and they'll find the advertisements for the show there with ticket information and all.
And
So that's it without getting heavy into
what
it.
do you?
That's
How do they find you on social media? Where do you want people to? No,
um
it's great. That's some good stuff coming up. The Belmar is going to be a nice.
yeah, it's a great little space, and I love it. It's BYOB though, because it's an arts
So tell
center.
me where tell me where people bring your own bottle. That's a lot of places in Jersey do that. I notice in Jersey have BYOB. Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club is BYOB.
Yeah,
Have you ever
can't.
played there?
Yeah, yeah. That's
You got to bring your own fucking cooler.
uh,
You got to have
like
a
a
picnic on fucking,
like a real
got
alcoholic.
45 people in the fucking room. Yeah, you got to bring, you got to lug your shit in. They even put like a liquor store next door to your fucking, to the place. So you got to
Right,
go in there like you
right.
feel like you're sneaking with the drink, the fucking,
And you can
no,
tell the
great.
alcoholics by what they bring. Some people it's like
Yeah.
it's not going to be a 12
Yeah,
day
yeah,
show.
yeah. No. The more expensive the alcohol, the more they appreciate the alcohol. The cheaper the alcohol, they're looking to get fucked up.
Right.
If they're bringing in that vodka, that shitty vodka that comes in the 6 gallon jug, you know that they don't care about vodka.
That's right.
You know,
How
like
do
what
you
is it
feel
called?
about how do you feel
Popov.
right? How do you feel about Tito's?
I'm not a big Tito's fan. If I'm going to go
I
with
hate it.
vodka, I'm not a. I like Belvedere. To be
Okay, it's
honest with you,
very smooth, very
I
smooth.
like Belvedere.
I'm old school. I like Kettle One or Stolies.
I like Stolies. I actually do like Stolies. I'm more of a bourbon guy. I love my
Okay,
bourbons. I have
and
to.
and
I love it. That's what I love.
and when I drank, how do you like that Woodford Reserve? I like that.
I like Woodford's nice. I like Buffalo Trace, Blanton's. I like Weller. You know, I'm really into the bourbon.
Okay, I my thing when I used to drink, which I'll drink vodka now, keep it clean and light, one or two at the most.
Yeah.
But when I used to drink, Johnny Walker Black.
I like black. I do like black. I wasn't into the Johnny Walker Red though. I didn't like red. It's really
No, red. I'd rather have a Dewar's than the red.
me too. Yeah, I always felt that. But the black was it was great, and if you can get the
And
blue, somebody else was paying for it. The blue was great.
the blue is amazing.
I love that. And I love, but you know what? To be honest with you, I was more of a weed smoker. I know it's hard to believe, but I was more. I was in that group. I was not a my drug of choice would be smoke a joint and go on stage. That's what I like. I like to smoke before I go on and and when I get off. I was always into
Yeah,
the
see,
weed.
I'm no prude. I did all your recreational drugs, but
Yeah.
I I couldn't perform smoking pot. I couldn't. I just would get too silly and spaced out. I couldn't
Right.
focus.
You broke
Uh,
character and you didn't want to do that. That's why.
yeah, and then a couple times I went on stage on blow. That was a nightmare.
I was never. I did it on mushrooms, which was a nightmare for me. I never did blow my whole life, to be honest with you. I was always afraid to do it, thinking I'd have a heart attack because I was always a big
Uh,
guy. So I was like, I'm not fucking doing that shit. I
you
scared
do you,
myself out of it.
you do blow as a stand up and you're booked for an hour. You can't wait to get off the stage and go do more blow.
Who is the booker that used to book you know, and he would actually you could actually pay him in blow. I heard there was a guy in New York. I forgot his name. Mel Fellman or some Jewish booker. And he you can pay him in blow or he'd pay you in blow or something like that.
Oh God, no, I don't doubt it.
I forgot his name. But he was back in the 80s and 90s. He used to book a room and he also do comedy and he'd perform in his own rooms. And
Really?
he'd have you come out there and say, hey, listen, I can't pay you, but I'll give you a blow. And I'm like, well, I don't fucking do blow. You know, give me a steak dinner or something. I mean, you know,
Right. I wish you could remember the name.
I, Larry Melman, I forget his name. Selman, Phil Selman.
Oh, Phil.
Yeah, Phil Selman. That's who it was. Holy shit.
I smoked pot with Phil a couple of times. He was he was like a fucking like a robot.
Yeah,
Do you
Phil
remember?
Selman. Yeah, he was a fucking like this
He was
weird
like
dude.
robotic. The way
Yeah,
he spoke, the way he moved, he was like
yeah,
robotic.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Phil. Yeah, and then I remember Rick Morgan. I didn't work a lot for Rick, but I remember they. Do you remember when Frank D'Amico called Rick Morgan out? There
Ah,
was a story of Frank D'Amico would call in the middle of the night. He'd call Rick and hang up. He'd call and hang up, and then Rick got so pissed off he fucking yelled at Frank D'Amico on the phone, but he yelled at him in his real voice. It wasn't the English
oh,
accent.
no British accent.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck, who the fuck is this?" You know, like, I'll break your fucking neck. You know, he was like, instead of like, hello, he's like, "I'll
Right.
come over there, I'll fucking kill
I
you.
would I would come over there and do dastardly things to you.
Dastardly things to you, Mr. D'Amico. All right, let's do some rapid fire. Ready? It's not a big deal. You don't got to answer quick. Clean or edgy comedy? What do you prefer?
Edgy.
Favorite comedy club?
Ooh. The Comedy Castle in Michigan.
Okay, good club. I didn't even see that one coming. I have to go. That's a great
Well,
room.
because I'm not prepared. This is rapid fire.
Yeah. Okay. Worst paying
That
gig ever.
worst paying gig ever. Jesus Christ. Tick tock. Worst paying gig ever. Oh God, I don't
All
know.
right.
I guess when my car when my car got stuck in the hurricane and I had to have it repaired, so it ended up costing me $800.
That would be the worst. You're paying your fucking.
That
All right. Dean Martin or Sinatra?
Dean Martin or Sinatra as an entertainer or a singer?
Singer.
Oh wow, I gotta go with Frankie.
I have to go with Frank too, but I do love Dean Martin. I have to say.
Yeah, he's no slouch.
All right, we got two more. One word that describes your career.
Over.
That's funny. What legacy do you want to leave? What legacy do you want to leave, Joseph? What legacy do you want to leave?
Two two successful, happy children.
Oh, you did that, right? You're doing that.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
that's I've lived my life, you know.
Yeah,
That's I mean, I don't want to be as miserable as I am. I want to
right.
be happier, but that's at the end of the day, that's really what's important to me.
Well, then I think that's a great thing. It shows you're human. You know, it shows that we are humans. People don't realize comedians are human. You know, we are, and I
Yeah,
appreciate. Yeah,
one of the highlights of my career, and you know, we didn't get into a lot of stuff, and we got into some stuff, but you know, I have highlights. Obviously, you
yeah,
have
yeah.
highlights, things that were just wow moments. But if I really was to simplify, one of the highlights of my career was being a hands-on stay-at-home dad. I loved going to their things at school. You know, I mean, all of that was irreplaceable.
And it makes you feel better too when you can do that. You know, it's like you're really separate from the business when you do that.
Yeah, yeah, and it was because of the business that I was able to do it, though.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
But it's also nice, like when I would walk into my, like when you walk into your daughter's like rehearsals, like whatever spelling bee, my daughter would, and I'd walk into the room. I'm really walking into the room to watch a 6-year-old spell words, and that's my daughter, and I'm not there to perform and nothing else. Nothing. I'm there to really be a human, a
oh,
dad.
just be present. Of course, you're there for them.
I just love that. Where can people find you, Joe?
Um, I've Facebook. It's Joseph Anthony now. My image is still showing.
I do see an image, but you're frozen. But it's a cool
Okay,
frozen image.
but there's a picture on the flyer because there's a lot of Joseph Anthony, so they'd have to find Joseph. It's Facebook is simply Joseph Anthony, no fancy handles, and they would have to find my mug, and then they could. That's where I post all my stuff. Instagram got hacked, so I put things on a really complicated handle called Crooked Views Blog.
Okay. I think
Yeah,
I did. I think I tagged you. Is that the one I tagged you in?
probably, yeah.
Okay.
The reason I used that, I had an Instagram that was it's Joseph Anthony, and it got hacked, and so I used to blog, and the only Instagram I'm using now is the blog Instagram, which now I don't use it for blogging. I use it to promote shows, and it's called Crooked Views Blog.
So what I'll do at the end of the show, after we're done, I'll in the description on the show, I'll put the links there so people can at least go on that way as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I
yeah.
have a TikTok and all of that, but I've been a little dormant with this stuff.
I'm not a big TikTok person. I do enjoy Instagram the most, I think, and I enjoy Facebook doing that, and I try to promote the shows on there. I just don't find TikTok appealing for my audience. I don't know. I don't think my audience is on TikTok as much as they are on
Right. Well,
Instagram.
as the younger people would say, we're on Facebook because we're old.
Yeah, whether they don't even like go on Facebook anymore. My daughter's finally embracing Facebook. She's 21, only because now family and stuff. But it was always Snapchat and all that other shit.
Right.
Um,
My daughter,
yeah. Well,
you know,
very
in
cool, man. I
addition.
really enjoyed.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, no, it's starting some
No,
bullshit.
no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Your daughter what?
No, no, no.
No, no.
She has
I
a.
was telling you.
In addition to working in the film, she has a social media company, and she writes to me last night. One of her clients is having Facebook trouble, tech trouble, and she wants to know if I
Uh
know
huh.
anybody because she runs their social media, this company, and she does all their Instagram and this and that and all their posting and all their videos. She knows how to do the promotion end of things, but she doesn't know the tech stuff. And the guy's having Facebook tech issues, so I'm trying to get my web guy to help out.
You should have her run your social media if you don't like doing it. Just
I'd have to
you
pay her.
tell her, go to dinner. Daddy take you to dinner. Well, since we're talking about kids, Is there anything you want to plug with your? You said your son's a musician, right? You want to plug any? Does he want to give him any kind of plug, or can they find him
Oh,
anywhere? Is he performing anywhere? Anything with your daughter?
he's got all social media, and I don't have his calendar, but my son is his stage name is my surname. It's Joe Grisanzio, Grisanzio. Joe Grisanzio. He's got a band. That's that.
Very cool. Joe, I had a great time talking with you. This was a great interview. I thought we had a lot. We touched a lot of bases. There's a lot of stuff we need to read. Read talk about new stuff. I think you and I can probably do another hour or so talking about other stuff. Now that we know there's no filter on either one of us, we can be open about people we really don't fucking like.
Yeah.
On the next episode, what we hate. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. This was a great show, and I appreciate you being on the show. And I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Thanks for having me, Mike. I'm gonna
And
go. I'm gonna go take an Ativan now.
all right, go have an Ativan in the fucking shot,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen. Joseph Anthony, everybody, I appreciate it. All right, Joseph, thank you so. All right, they're a little loud. Thank you very much. All right, brother. We'll talk soon. I appreciate you doing the show. You'll be able to. It'll be uploaded, so I'll send you the links to it. I'll text you the links, and there we go, my man. We're done. Had a great time.
Please do that because obviously I'm not savvy. Thanks, Mike. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Bye bye now.